How's your winter? How's your winter?
Oh, pretty good, like in the warmer weather. That's what.
Don't get used to it.
No, next week already, it's gonna flip back. It was funny, I used the fireplace the other day and I was like, this is the last time of the year I'll be using the fireplace.
The same thought.
Jinx it.
Well, you're good. Grab some lunch. We do. We're actually waiting on Coach Burdette.
I always
So
also
you're good.
remember that the blizzard of '93 came in March. I keep that in mind every year.
It was just such a
And there's David.
icy winter, I feel like.
Even there.
That one weekend of snow was.
Good. How
nice.
are you?
That was.
Yeah, that was it for the snow, and then it was like, it hung around for a little bit too, which that was annoying after a little bit, but. Glad I don't have kids yet, how many snow days there were.
I was just gonna say, especially if you have kids.
Good. We're good.
Very ready.
Oh, does he have it? Oh, he has
I've
it.
never.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
So
Papers everywhere.
use the max amount of at-home days too, instead of like for actually doing work at home.
Great.
It's crazy.
Right.
Like, probably need to change that, but
Of course, the kids who really couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
got absences.
yeah, it's crazy. But. Been out riding. Good
Much
bit.
as I can. Yeah. It's like with all the leaves off the tree, still have like a raccoon family. Try to find it funny.
Very funny, yeah.
I'm too old to care how I look, but it's funny to have like your tan.
On the bottom drawer, like have a little bottom drawer.
Yeah. I don't think I come across as a golfer though.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, golf is like hit down.
Yeah, it's making a comeback around.
My little brother.
Actual courses or more like top golf places?
Right, and then like that place at Highwire in River Arcs, the simulator, it's
Yeah.
always busy.
Oh, interesting.
They have a golf.
Yeah, they took half of it and they split it up and now it's covered pickleball courts. And then
Really?
it's a golf simulator and then they have a pool room.
Is that
So,
the
like,
sports bar?
They're making themselves kind of into that. It's the Highwire River Arcs one.
Okay, because there's a place that like,
There is a sports club downtown.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. The pickleball courts.
Where is it? Is it in the old,
It was, you go around the roundabout.
county?
No, it's kind of before the marquee. You go around the roundabout, it's over there on the left. There used to be that kind of shell storage building there that they
Yeah.
demoed. And they were behind that and it's actually their headquarters because they own a couple different locations across the country. And they kind of expanded, this business came in and bought half of their kind of space.
Is that Ace and Eagle?
Ace and Eagle,
Okay.
yeah.
So they're in a partnership?
In a partnership,
Okay.
yeah, and they built the pickleball courts, but now they're covering them and lighting them.
Yeah.
And then they took the background for that used to be production and they made it all into golf simulators. And then their Biltmore location is now just 100% of their production. So, there's actually two pharmacists. My wife is a pharmacist.
Gilwood
So
State.
she knew who started Highwire, but it was two pharmacists from Asheville that started it. Now it's like kind of exploded.
We might want to do intros because I don't think that all these people are gonna think.
It does, yeah.
I was.
Yeah,
Figured out and haven't been out the last 2 meetings.
Maybe on a Monday, but.
Yeah, we can do
There's
that.
part of roll
Driving
call.
home, so
We're
let's
gonna do
go
roll
to
call.
the-
Yeah.
So it's kind of like.
Yeah, I guess roll call. Yeah, it's the first time we've had
Good year.
all these people.
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
oh, yeah. And on Mondays, they do $5.20.
And then if you want to mention that it's,
And music.
that one- it's on the agenda, but I don't know if at the beginning.
They weren't hurt in the
Yeah.
hurricane?
They were completely destroyed,
Oh,
but they rebuilt pretty quickly.
Everything around the same place, pretty rough.
All right, when
Yeah,
we're ready.
yeah.
All right, Kevin, you're good.
All right, everybody, welcome to the March 10th Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting. I'm gonna get through a couple administrative things real quick. The first is going to be a roll call, and since there's new faces here and new members to the board, I would like you to introduce yourself and give a quick bit about what brought you to the Parks and Rec board. I can start. I'm Kevin Conricode. I've been appointed the president of this board, which is a really rad honor. And the thing that brought me to Parks was I have a strong belief that Parks make life better.
I'm Joseph Goochman from the Parks Division Manager, and yeah, I'm here because it's part of my job, and I think it's an awesome thing that we have, and I think you guys bring a lot to help us kind of achieve what we need to do as a department. So appreciate y'all taking time on a Tuesday at lunch. So, yeah.
I'm David Burdett, and I am born and raised here, and I have worked in youth sports for 39 years in some way, shape, or form. And I just think that parks are important to the livelihood of people, like makes you better people.
Hi, I'm Jen Cook. I've been on the board for a year and I work in Parks and Rec design, but also have 2 toddlers. So I'm out at the parks a lot for different reasons and also just value or see the value they bring and want to contribute however I can.
I'm Ann Babcock, and I guess I came to this through my advocacy for greenways, which I've been working on for a number of years.
Yeah.
And you're a vice chair, is that correct? Yes, I.
I'm Jeff Fody. I just recently joined, and I have love being outside, love the outdoors, mountain bike. I'm on Pisgary Sorghum a board, and brought up our kids here and used a lot of the ABYSA and other programs, and just paid in a lot of the parks, and just have a wealth of enthusiasm for the whole topic. So, yeah, especially.
Hi all, Emily Trevisi. I'm also somewhat new. My last back in January. I live in Swannanoa, and I work in wildfire and emergency management, a job. My personal life, I'm an active user of parks and I think they're a really important part of our community. So happy to be here.
Awesome. I'm Liz Hookwater. I'm the Recreation Division Manager, working on Parks and Recreation, and think having fun and being outside and having time with others is what brought me to Parks and Recreation.
I'm Allison Baines. I'm the director for Buncombe County Parks and Recreation. May will be 4 years that I've been with Buncombe County as the director. And I'm here because I truly believe that parks enhance people's quality of life. I think it's a essential part of our community, and I am very excited to be here in Buncombe County, where we are developing new parks and new trails and new greenways, and there's a lot of exciting things happening. I'm very excited to be a part of it, and that you all also know.
Then online.
And then Christina.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Christina DePush. I've been around for a couple of meetings now and really enjoying it. My background is building healthcare systems for people with disability and poverty. And one of the pieces that I have always found, we talk so much about getting people out and exercising and wellness, but I don't think there's a really strong connection to the park systems, if it's a city or a county like this group is and representing. So I'm a big advocate. And ever since I've joined this board, I've just had this unbelievable awareness that I need to help all my neighbors and everybody I contact to is, do you even know where the parks are and all this stuff? So huge advocate. Also, I think it's a huge piece of longevity for just anybody that's a human being, which I think is pretty important for people. And I think another reason I'm here, and I'm just so grateful that Allison and Liz invited me, was that I'm also the president of the Asheville Pickleball Association. And I just want to say part of this introduction, I don't know if it's appropriate, Liz or Allison, today, but sometime in the future, the APA, the Asheville Pickleball Association, is getting tons of inquiries, connections, helping people to do things. And a lot of that is sitting in the county, especially among the schools and other events that are going on. And I guess I come to the table today really wanting to be an advocate for Buncombe County Parks and Rec. And that we're just whatever connections in the future. And again, I just want to say that at some point, either privately to have a conversation with you or sometime at this table, I would really like to see that, even though we're called Asheville Pickleball Association, that's a whole nother story why that's the name and if we should change it or not. But most of our members and most of the things we're doing, and we do a tremendous amount with Ace and Eagle. Guys, I heard y'all talking about that. We're getting ready to do a big fundraiser for helping kids at risk with the HARC program there. But anyway, I'm very excited to be part of this, and I always want to make sure people get credit where credit's due.
Awesome. Thanks, Christina. Yeah, we are happy to meet. Probably, we can set up a meeting outside of this and chat some more.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, it's great to meet everybody. I'm super stoked that everyone's here, fired up. Next administrative task is just an approval of today's agenda and an approval of the meeting from last minute. We'll do that in one, if I can get a second for that.
A second.
All right, all in favor, say.
Actually, I wasn't on the present list for last meeting. I was on virtually, and that's a big change or anything that needs to be.
I don't have.
We can correct it.
Correct.
We'll correct it. Oh, noted.
Thank you.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, and do we have anybody in the room for public comment?
Is there anybody online for public comment?
No, all right, well then we can move right on to the report out follow-up.
Sounds good. I'll be happy to start that. I know that you received the report out. A couple of things that I want to highlight, even though they're in the report out. We are all on the edge of our seats as we are getting ever so close to the final acquisition of Beaverview Mountain. We anticipate that that will be happening. I'm just gonna say before the end of this month that will occur. Once that occurs, we will be setting up some tours and such to go out there, but I do want to make sure that everyone is aware and that you put on your calendars that we are hosting a celebration of the acquisition of Beaverview Mountain, as well as of the conservation of 315 acres of prime real estate here in Asheville on Monday, April the 13th at 11 a.m. And this will specifically be for a press conference. It's invitation only. At this point, we will do a larger public display for folks of Beaverview Mountain, but you all are invited to that. And it will be indeed at Beaverview.
Cool.
And so by April 13th, it will be acquired and we'll be celebrating that. So we're
Is there
very
parking there?
excited that we will be working through. And what needs to happen, there is a great deal of development that needs to happen. The answer is no, there is not parking there yet.
And if you've never been there, like if you're newer to town, it has got a 270-degree view of Asheville. It's super rad and you want to go there. Yeah.
So is it at the top?
It
or-
will be, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be sure. I just want you to mark that on your calendars right now. We'll be sure that you get specific details. And again, it is a press conference, and so it is not open widely to the public. We will be planning a public opening probably later on at a different time. So I wanted to make sure that you're aware of that. While I'm giving you dates to be aware of, I also want to make sure that you're aware we are going to tap into a little bit of Joseph's thunder here. We are really engaged highly with Horace Schott for the development of Owen Park. They've been actively working on that on March the 30th. At the Owen High School,
Oh, no.
Middle School. I always get it at Owen Middle School at 6 a.m. or p.m. All over the place, right? 6 a.m. I know you're available. No, at 6 p.m. on March the 30th, we'll be doing our first coordinated engagement where Horace Schott will be there. And so that'll be a very large event and interactive. That is open to the public. We've been putting it out to stakeholders. We're trying to get community members. We would love for you all to come and participate, be a part of the redevelopment of that park. Think it's really exciting, important. Just as an FYI, this Saturday coming up, Thrive Asheville is hosting an event, and I'll be doing a small presentation about Owen Park and the redevelopment of it at that event as well. So those are some big things that are coming up for us. And then the last large thing that I wanted to kind of talk about high level, and I'll ask a question at the end of this, but want you to know that we're in the middle of our budgeting process right now for FY27. So we have compiled our budget requests. We've gone through our initial budget ask. goes through the process of the county where we meet amongst other departments. We do presentations to the county manager, and then that budget gets presented from the county manager to the board, and then ultimately the board adopts our budget. And so budget usually is adopted mid-June for July 1st startup. And so we included in that is what's our CIP, our capital improvement program, which are our large build out projects that we have coming up. And this year, the one that we are moving forward with, pushing ahead, is the build out of river access and entry into Glen Bridge River Park. Hopefully that'll come to fruition and we can get an official ADA accessible boat launch out there. And it really is going to enable the use of the French. It's in South. What it really do, it'll hook up, it'll be a really nice float between there, and it's a long float between there and takeout at Bent Creek, but it'll be another good option and opportunity for people to have a float utilizing the river. So we're moving forward with that. And my question is, we have a 5-year build out for CIP. One of the things that we're waiting to incorporate into our CIP plan is once the master plan is finished, that will help inform future projects as we're moving forward. And I was just wondering if it is of interest in the next meeting or the meeting afterwards, if you would like kind of a formal presentation of the 5-year CIP and what we have slated, and then we can have conversation about other potential.
Yeah.
Projects,
awesome.
if that's-
Wow.
Yes.
I think it might, yeah, I think it might be for the July meeting. We have the CIP slated, but we can always move it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Just a quick question on the DeaverView acquisition. Is that in the 5-year CIP or is that further out?
So Deaverview, the wonderful thing about Deaver Mountain is the Board of Commissioners voted to approve $7.5 million of bond funds for the development of Deaverview. And so as soon as it becomes ours, we already have an RFQ or a request for qualifications ready to go, and we will put it out to start master planning and the development. So from day one, we are ready to go to start the development. It's going to be a multi-year project. We're going to need to figure out staggered stages of opening. I don't think there's just going to be one large grand opening, because if we were going to do that, that's at least 3 years out. And we know that we want to ensure that we have smaller milestones along the way and access. And so we'll be working through that with you all as well as with the rest of the community.
Bike trails are gonna be part of that too, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, we've heard a great deal about the need for bike trails and hiking trails and where we can separate them. So excited to have a conversation.
Yeah, do we know who's maintaining those or? is that-
Nobody is maintaining anything out there right now.
No, but do you have any prospects on who, I mean, yeah, SOAR would probably be interested in.
Yeah, we're looking forward to being able to start really formalizing some agreements and collaborations. We really have been waiting until the property comes online in order to be able to do that. I will tell you that I just hiked about 4 miles out of there. It took me about 4.5 hours because there are so many down trees.
Oh, my God.
There's a
yeah.
good 2 miles where you can't go under or over the trees. You have to go around or below. And so there's a great deal of work to be done.
When would that start?
When will what start?
The work on the trails.
Well, we'll put out an RFQ for qualifications for someone to come and bid to put in the process to be able to do that.
Yeah, so
So,
part of that RFQ is a trail assessment of what's actually
Yeah.
out there already, probably doing GIS. And there'd be, going on everything, marking point here is a tree that's fallen down.
Yeah, we do
This
that,
is,
yeah.
yeah, and then we'll have a packet together to go to bid for a company to actually come in and
Okay.
remove, do all the work. So
And then Allison and Joseph, I think also when is DeaverView slated to open to the public? So while we acquire it, won't be open and it's gonna be a multi-year process of development. So it's slated, I believe as part of the agreement or part of the purchase, we have to open it by a certain date. Is that
you have to
right?
open it within 3 years.
Within 3 years. So
Has to be.
by March 2029.
But we'll, like I said, we'll have
more details.
We'll have more details and staggered openings and how we do that. Part of the budget process, I have requested 2 positions specifically for the management of Deaver View. And that position that oversees that park. One of the big things they'll do is help create a volunteer program, community collaborations and get some of those things going. So having a lot of that. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, related to that, I'm just curious, I'm not super familiar with that area, but I'm sure the neighboring neighborhoods might be interested in how the county is gonna tackle wildfire risk, especially with all the dead and down fuel. So I would just encourage you to think about wildfire mitigation as you're doing your trail assessment.
For sure. 100%. That's all I was thinking about while I was out there.
Really?
As I was
There's-
navigating.
There's a country song about the mountain burning.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, most definitely, but appreciate you bringing that, but that's very much on the forefront. Especially in the county as a whole, as we're recovering, continuing to recover from the lean. That is definitely one of the conversations at the forefront of development.
Okay. Quick
Yes.
question. I think I saw that the city was building sidewalks down the road that goes towards Beaver View Park or Beaver View Mountain.
I have not yet seen if they connect all the way.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
I do not know the
if they
answer to
go
that.
all the way.
I've
That
not
was
seen any
unclear.
plans that show that.
If that would be a really
Yeah.
helpful thing for the people that live out in that area
For
to
sure.
to walk there.
For sure. And I've also had conversations with folks that are interested in seeing how close we can get a bus line to run there as well. So
Yeah.
those are definitely
Yeah.
considerations. Those are not quick things that occur, but those are definitely considerations as we're developing the mountain in and of itself. Also the infrastructure to get people to the mountain, which sometimes are within our control and sometimes are with our partnering agencies.
So you're gonna have to work with the city, the county and the city are gonna have
Yeah.
to work together to get that
Correct.
organized.
Has the county developed a property of this size before, or the Parks and Rec? Or
No, this
So-
is the largest piece of property independent that we will own. The important note is currently we have about 553 acres of property within the county parks department, right? It's about 553-ish. This property is 342 acres is this property. So we are getting ready to experience a 68% increase in our property within the department.
And that's why
Very
we
exciting.
speak a lot to that 2 to 3 year, because that's gonna take time to develop a property of that size.
Yeah,
And there's
Something with Alexander?
Alexander River Park?
Yeah.
What was it? What was the
It's Alexander River Park.
No, the
Or
bike
mountain
trails that were
bike.
associated over there. Yeah, were a few years
Oh,
back.
the
That was
landfill.
150 acres, maybe more.
It was part of the landfill.
Yeah, that was
property,
part of the
yeah.
landfill property back in the day.
Yeah, it's hard to speak to that one because the river park's actually all part of the landfill property as well, and it runs a good ways.
Okay. But I mean, it was significant, and you guys had a lot of trails and stuff and access there, yeah, I was just saying from a comparable
They're
perspective.
close.
They're close,
Yeah.
yeah, but this is great, I mean, having Deaver to kind of replace some of that, you know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Excited to see that come back.
Yeah.
When, so it'd be probably not the appropriate time, but could we get an update on like the Swananoa stuff that's going on that you guys are funding?
Oh, yeah, we can, in terms, which pieces specifically? Owen Park, the small area plan?
I was thinking more the Beacon Hill stuff.
Oh, you're wanting Beacon Hill, so.
Yeah, could that
Yeah, we
be?
can have a conversation.
I'd love to hear what's going on there and how you guys are messaging that and what your thoughts are as far as working with that.
Sounds good.
Awesome, thanks.
Anything else or questions for me?
Well, another date is, it's your date, and for the Woodfin, Greenway. I guess. you could
On
bring
March
that-
17th, so
March 17th.
March 17th, I'll be presenting to their town council.
Oh, that's awesome.
An update about the Greenway. So yeah, so feel free to come out if you would like to. I actually don't know what time it is. I think it's at 5. Is it at 5 or 6? I'm not sure, but we can.
I think it's 5.
I want to say it's early. I think it's at
Yeah.
5 o'clock at Woodfin Town Council. So I'll be presenting there about the Woodfin Greenway feel free. And a lot of what I'll present is what you all have already received. I sent a
Oh, yeah,
message
that was the detail.
to all of you with a lot of detail about where we are and what we're doing and how we're doing it and how we're communicating and collaborating. So it'll be mostly the highlights of those types of things that we're talking about, so. Looking forward to that too.
Another event, just to get on y'all's calendar, it's just April, April 4th. We're doing a statue of Echoes of the Forest at Cane Creek Fields. Cane Creek Fields is the largest debris site, or one of the largest debris sites for debris removal in the county. And now it's gonna be a grand reopening of the soccer field again. Part of that is putting a statue through Echoes of the Forest. It's gonna be a bear cub playing soccer. And we're gonna do an event with some games going on the fields, and then the teams interacting with the bear, and PBS is gonna be filming as well.
Wow.
April 4th. Yeah, and it's
At 11:30.
at 11:30 is gonna be the speech and everything. And this PBS crew they've actually won 2 Emmys for documentaries. But their focus is on this artist and Echoes of a Forest as a whole, which is a really cool kind of idea. They're using trees that fell during Helene and making them into artwork. So there's one at the Arboretum right now called Shelley, and it's a big turtle. That's kind of cool to check out if you're at the Arboretum. So, and these are kind of like, we saw what the trolls brought in.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing.
He's kind of similar style
Yeah.
all around.
Large format,
Mhm.
yeah, neat.
Like chainsaw?
Yeah, he's chainsaw, but a little bit more detailed, I'd say. He's got a whole like workshop, and his pieces are, I mean, yeah, I would, if you
Mike
check out
Ayers is the
Shelley.
name of
Yeah.
the artist.
But it's name.
Mike Ayers is the name of the artist that we're working with.
What was the name of the park?
Cane Creek Fields.
Oh, Fields.
Yep. It's right off of Cane, it's off of Cane Creek Road by Cane Creek.
If you get
Yep.
directions to Cane Creek Middle School,
Okay.
you can't see it from the road. You have to like pull off the road.
Go
You
to
have
the
pull
right.
off- So you just get directions to Cane Creek Middle and you'll go right.
And definitely on that note, and before we move to the next agenda item, like the Buncombe County Parks and Rec website is getting a lot of good information put on there. So I encourage everybody on the board to get on there and click through all the links. There's a cool map that has all of the parks laid out on it, and current events, calendar, a lot of nice resources, and it will answer a lot of questions that you may have lingering. So familiarize yourself with that, and then when you come to the meetings, you can be prepared to dig deeper, or if there's something you don't see on the website, you can bring it up.
And please, to that point, if there's something that you think should be there, that you're not there, having a hard time, please let us know. We've been working with our CAPE team. There's been a transition to a new website, which has caused an amazing amount of ability for us to really inform people in fun and innovative ways. But it also has meant the redoing of that and making sure that our things are updated and just the turnover from one website to another. And so we've been working really closely with our CAPE friends to be able to bring that up to speed. It's happening as a whole county. So you can imagine there may be been some things that have been missed. And so if you go in there and you see something that's inaccurate or you have questions about, please reach out to Liz or Joseph or myself. And then we can make sure, because we're constantly fine tuning and updating, and Molly, our behind the scenes, is constantly working hard for us to make sure you have the information you need. Jeff, you had another question?
Will the CIP dig into some of the the kind of comprehensive view of the Greenway projects and where those are going, or?
I could talk about Greenways. Greenways and CIP are separated, believe
Okay.
it or not.
And that's why I asked. Even from the report out, it'd be really nice to have like a Greenway section, just so you could kind of see what's going on that front.
There's gonna be an updated section on greenways on the website
Awesome.
that we're
awesome.
working on, so you'll be able to see kind of everything of where everything is.
There's
Status.
already some good.
There is some information
Yeah.
on there, but it's gonna be improved and
Cool.
clear, so.
Sweet.
Yep.
I would definitely check it out. Thanks. Sorry, go ahead.
Just an offer to help with, I live in Swananoa. If you have any flyers for the Owen Park engagement or anything you want me to bring,
Those
maybe
two.
let me know.
Yeah, oh yeah, and definitely help us spread the word.
I will.
I know this event she's speaking at on Saturday has over 100 people, and we're hoping to get 300 plus for the
Someone
30th.
shows up for
yeah.
our community meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our team, they're very on top of it. I think you guys are going to be impressed by this first meeting, and they're very excited.
People are really excited.
Yeah.
So they have like a layout that they're gonna, is there an agenda that's?
Yeah, so they're gonna do 3 different meetings spread out through this process. This first meeting is kind of to gauge what the community wants to see most. So they're gonna have some very high level stuff that you can look at, but nothing really dialed in on what, we're still a ways out from anything concrete. So this one really is to gauge what the community wants. If they want to see, walking is number 1 priority, baseball fields, number 2 priority, all kinds of different opportunities, and how we can reincorporate that landscape that we have now. And then the second meeting will be them presenting kind of 3 options, with a lot more detail. It will also be probably at Owen Middle School if we can make it happen. Same thing, community event. And they're going to listen to the public and hear what's good and bad about each one of these 3 options. And then in August, they're shooting to have a final meeting where they present the final idea to the public again. So that's something that I think that they're really wanting to keep going to is momentum with the community. We don't want the community to be like, well, I went to this event back here, it's a process and we need people to show up to each one of these 3 events.
That's
So,
great.
Joseph, do we have FEMA money? You guys?
We're working through a lot of different sources. So we hired a Helene recovery office through the county, and they have been tasked with like finding all the pieces to help us make a puzzle.
Same one that Asheville hired?
This is a Buncombe County's.
Oh, yeah, but is it the same?
I
No,
don't
what
know.
we've done is
No,
we've
it's like
developed a
internal.
department.
Yeah, it's
We internally, we have a
Oh,
department. now.
okay,
We
yeah,
have
okay.
a-
I think Asheville went to like a third party.
Well, it's a recovery department. Yeah, it's grant funded. And I think it's 3 to 5 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
For X amount of time, yeah.
Oh.
And so,
Yeah.
Kevin is the point for that, and.
Different Kevin.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah,
guy.
so they're the
okay.
point for the funding, and then we have what's the name of the design firm?
Horse Watts is
Yeah,
doing
I'm not
that.
even gonna try to say that. So I think the city's using a design firm for like the carrier.
Right, they hired somebody that kind of like knew the process
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they tried to help them
Correct.
navigate all the FEMA funding
And
sources.
it's
that were-
the same thing with Horse Swap. They've
Yeah.
worked
Okay,
with
good.
FEMA properly.
No, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, kudos for thinking ahead like that. That's
There's
not
a-
easy though, yeah.
A lot of different people at the table trying to make it whole.
Yeah.
We've been talking to the USDA, then the state representatives, DEQ. We have meetings about, we were at the meeting at the Wave where the governor was at, that he released a blueprint, blueprint program. So just a lot of different opportunities, and we're trying to figure out which ones fit best for Ellen.
Actually, did we lose there?
Everything.
Ball fields, I know we lost Fishing Lake,
We lost.
There's there were 3 ball fields that were there essentially. There was a T-ball field and then 2 other size ball fields. But those ball fields actually hadn't really been used very much in the past 3 or so years because there's ball fields just down the road.
Veterans Park.
Veterans Park really is where people started going to, and then there were the 2 ponds with the walking path.
Yeah.
You guys.
Basketball.
Basketball court.
No, that's city.
Playground was nice. You guys had upgraded that, yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing was the walking component, and I think we're gonna see a
Yeah.
lot of that, how we can incorporate something to go back.
And are you associating with Warren Wilson? I mean, because there was a lot of cross through there. Did they give you a hard time about that or? No, okay, good.
No, Warren Wilson's a good partner through
Yeah,
all this,
great.
and I think everybody in Swanano is being a good partner about Owen Park,
Good.
so,
it's a great opportunity to improve what was there.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And Horse Watch is doing smaller focus groups with the Friends of Swananoa is one kind of, and then they're kind of trying to pull 3 different focus groups, one on community, one on environmental, and then one is us technical. So we're bringing in our planning department to help us. We're probably gonna bring in our floodplain administrator to help us. Yeah.
If you need any more contacts or like community leaders, let me know. I'd be happy to put you in touch with.
Yeah, and I'll make sure you guys are part of this kind of community outreach too, because they might want you to sit down at the table at some point and get ideas from this group as well. So.
Don't know if it's of interest, but we're also coordinating kind of a recovery at Show, and US Forest Service is opening that up, and they're gonna reestablish a lot of the trails that were quote unquote unsanctioned in there. And the Appalachian Ranger District's not been incredibly progressive on this front, but they've really turned over a new leaf with what's coming into from FEMA and a lot of the other things after Helene. So I was there are definitely some touch points there that affect the county and that local community.
Anything else on Owen? I know it's a big one, so, yeah. Love to see you guys on the 30th and, yeah.
Actually, while we're talking, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking, I think our next meeting is in May. Is that right? The second-
Correct.
The
Yeah,
second week of May?
May 12th.
May 12th. So I won't be at that meeting, and the reason I won't be at that meeting is I will be in Duluth, with actually, Molly will be doing a, presentation at the National Outdoor Recreation Conference, talking about, like master planning and how, planning for resiliency in parks and, master planning and communications and engagement as we build back better. And so, yeah, that's just a note to know that that will be doing those things. And we're starting to get asked a lot of questions from organizations about how we're handling things and being asked to present more and more, having opportunities to be able to do that and share like our successes and our challenges. And so, yeah. Just as I'm sitting here, I'm like, that next meeting will be,
So
Presenting in
maybe
Duluth.
July,
so there you
we
go.
get to hear from you on the
Yeah,
CIP and
exactly.
everything else.
For sure.
All right.
All right, next on the agenda is, so as a board, we have annual goals, and one of our goals is to develop a community engagement plan.
I'm in a little presentation, if that's okay.
Oh, run with
Kind of
it.
go over. Let me just share my screen so Christina can see it. Kevin and I are gonna kind of tag team this. We didn't do much pre-planning.
We didn't plan, I might just let you take it on, but I'll chime in.
Setting you up.
Okay.
So take it, Paul. Or, no, this is great. I appreciate the forethought of putting the presentation together.
All right, so I don't want to interrupt you too. I want, you kind of go into the lead in of what this thing is. Made our goal and
Yeah, is it every year that we make the report out?
as far as I know, that was my
Okay.
first year, last year, because the Helene the year
been a
prior. So it's
strange
from our
year.
annual report, and this was one of the goals that the board came up with was regarding developing a community engagement.
Yeah, basically getting us as the board out into the community. Because some of the biggest goals that the Parks and Rec department needs our help with is we're trying to get park visits up and greater awareness of where Buncombe County parks are and more advocacy. So a big way we can do that is the Parks Department puts on a lot of really great programming, and it's been reported to out to us at every meeting of like what's coming up in the next quarter. What we want to do today is have everyone choose 2 events that they will go as their chosen like forms of community outreach. And our jobs as board members is 1, to listen to the community, 2, to advocate for the Parks Department, and that is giving people information strictly on where they can find the information, predominantly the website, be a smiling face and encourage people to go to parks. One of the biggest hurdles for the Park Department is getting the support from the county commissioners, and the way we get more support is having a fired up citizen base and having people go to the parks. We count how many people go to the parks, So the more people that go to the parks, the more we can prove that these are services that people want. And, you know, like the voices of the people who are going to be at like the Owens committee, the more excitement we can muster up by going out to these things and speaking to people, the greater impact us as a board can have, and the greater impact the Parks and Rec department can have.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that was basically the presentation right there. Your first slide was about our mission and about the advisory board purpose, which Kevin just spoke about. And then this is the actual goal that Kevin mentioned. So is develop a community engagement action plan, participate in at least one outreach or public engagement event or program per district per year. And then during outreach engagement, solicit feedback. And so I think our goal today is to start identifying some of those dates and ways to engage. Because if we don't do it this meeting, where it's May next, you know, we're halfway through the year almost in May. So that's the goal. Kevin said this, exactly what I put, you know, pretty much what I put on here of what do we as a department need from you? Keep that big picture in mind. I know Ann and Kevin are really, really passionate about greenways. I know many of you are, but know that there's so much, you know, the Parks and Recreation Department, we're not just greenways, but there's a ton of other things going on. And that it's not all going to happen at once, right? Like we have, it takes time for different reasons for everything we do. And then the other piece, just like Kevin said, is we have these programs and events. Come to programs and events, share information about them. If you're on social media, if you're not, pay attention to the newsletter, talk to your friends. And like Kevin said, encourage participation in those things as well as park visitation. So more people who are coming to us and doing things, we need more staff to help with this, because that's, you know, one of our big pieces. It's not necessarily we just need more money, but Allison, we're getting those new staff, like Allison mentioned.
Yeah, and I think part of like the talking about proposing the 2027 budget proposal, it's like we're 9 months away from 2027, but the fiscal year starts sooner. So the big thing is like if you can get people fired up, like call, email your county commissioners and tell them that like, hey, fund the parks, fund them for what they ask for, staff them what they ask for. That's a huge help.
So these are things that Kevin mentioned, and then this was kind of like the brainstorming slide. So this is more Kevin and how you all as a group want to decide, but the kind of questions I posed are, you know, what does engagement look like? And what do you need from us to be successful in that engagement? So I do have a list of kind of events. A lot of them are on the report out as well. You can see them there. And then of course, there's the other meetings that Allison and Joseph mentioned. There's the, you know, there'll be D-Review planning meetings. There's the Owen Park planning meeting. There's other county opportunities. There's community engagement markets, that type of thing. And so I kind of turn it back over to you, Kevin, and the group to kind of, you know, how do you all engage and how can we support you in that?
I think a big thing for me being an introvert would be like, do we have generic just Parks and Rec business cards that have like the contact information on it?
We don't, but we can get those.
Okay, because something like that would be helpful if someone asks, I can be like, oh, here, hold on to this.
Go to this QR code. It'll
Yeah.
take you to. Do that.
But yeah, is there anything that would help individually, each one of you speak for yourselves?
Well, and looking at the big picture and all the different things that you do, if somebody asked me what CORE is, I'm not sure that I could tell them. And I'm not sure that I could discuss the 55+ club. And I would love to know more details about that, because I think the more we understand about the other programs, besides Greenways and Parks, the more we'll be able to advocate and get other people enthusiastic. But I honestly couldn't tell you what CORE is, and I should. I've been on this board for a long time.
Okay. And we did a presentation when CORE first came out, Community Outreach and Recreation Experiences. And we did a presentation about what it is and the goals for CORE. But this is a totally new board as a whole, and so I'm hearing that you want some report outs about some of these big programs.
Just more
overviews.
details about what
Right.
it is and what you
And
want.
just know
trying to
that
accomplish.
they're on the website too, as well as where we are. So I think a combination of that probably is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, it sounds like we need to add that up there as well. You know, we have homework to do as far as going through the website. and
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
understanding
ourselves.
other things besides our
programs.
personal interests, you know, we want to be able to say,
Speak to
reach
the
out
rep.
to other people
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I saw that bike program on there. I was interested in that as well, so. And, yeah.
I think this is a good approach to us, like, making an active or starting to be active in the public engagement. And I think it'd be good if we all just pick one and start with going out and talking to people. We don't have to be like experts on everything yet. We can say, oh, I really love Greenways. We'll go to the website. They have so much information about, or I can give you this person's contact and they'll be able to tell you, or, we don't have to, you know, be super confident in all these things yet to go out. So,
Cause if you know, like, the details on the core programming are on the website, and step one is like knowing that that's where to go to get information. Because the way we become more educated is like, we can sit down and read the whole website, but we don't know what the community is gonna ask of us
Right.
until we go and have it asked. And the first time someone asks, you may not know, but if you can point them in the right direction, and then you'll go home, or at least could be curious and then learn for yourself. And the next time somebody asks that question, you're ready to rip.
Mm.
Yeah.
But-
It seems like one of our goals is also to try to bring more people into these events. And so it seems like we need to add to this doing public engagement in places where people are that are not parks events, right? Like we need to go to a farmer's market or something where the community is, who is the audience that we want to draw into
That is a great idea.
our events. So that's just one idea. Like Swananoa is going to have our farmers markets. I could table, you know, a booth or something like that if I had the materials.
Yeah,
So-
when that's something that we can definitely provide is like, it's, you know, a tablecloth, and then the collateral, whether it's, you know, handouts, flyers, we do QR codes, like
Yeah.
signs, and then
Still sort of think a t-shirt.
we can do
Yeah.
t-shirts,
T-shirts,
or
cool.
t-shirts and name
Or a name
tags.
tag or
We
something.
can get, no, I think it'd be good for y'all to have t-shirts and that say advisory board member on it. probably.
Ask me about Buncombe County Parks.
Yeah.
Real big on that.
Yeah, do that too.
I think don't underestimate how much you do know. And I think knowing people as well, like being able to say like, oh, like, you know, that Liz is over recreation programs. You know that Joseph is over parks and park development. You know that I'm the director. And so that's valuable as well. Many people don't know that. And personally, one of the reasons that I really would like you all to be having conversation too is because people will say different things to you that they may or may not say to me. And so I would love for you to come back and be like, wow, you know, I went out and I just am so surprised. I had no idea that people were so into kite flying and they just really want a program about that. Whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? So that we can make sure that we're meeting the gaps in services, you know, like, hey, I went out to an event in Big Ivy, which is in the farther corner of the county, and I'd never been out there before, and I met those folks and they're working on this, you know. I think being asked questions and not being able to answer it is a great thing.
Mhm.
And I think particularly that we brought up CORE. CORE is a really cool program, and what it is basically mobile parks and recreation.
Yeah.
We have a van which is loaded up with games and balls, and they drive out to underserved corners of the county. So finding that CORE route and finding one that may be convenient for you to get to would be a great way to have contact with people who are underserved in the county.
Yeah, I knew it was an outreach program, but I wasn't exactly sure how.
And real quick, we got a question from Christina online. Sorry, Christina.
No, that's okay. No, first of all, I think this is absolutely wonderful. I think we all in agreement that getting out in the community, my history is a lot of public speaking. I'm more than glad to help wherever I can. That's convenient. I think when I talk to people in the Fairview and Reynolds community where I live, what they want to know is what's 10 to 15 miles from me. You know, kind of what's the radius? And I'm sorry, I haven't spent enough time on the website or looked at enough materials. I don't know. You know, I think what I know about people I talk to, regardless of age, it's like a visual. Well, where is that? You know, I mean, yeah, I can Google it and I can go read about it or whatever, but it's interesting to me when people say, well, how far do you think that is from here? You know, and some people will drive 25 miles and some people don't want to drive 10. I mean, you know, but I think this is absolutely wonderful. I think about the places where people gather in those communities, you know, down there at Fairview, there's you know, they have the farmer's market in the school parking lot and lots of things. I think people would be really interested. I also think, I don't know what you've done with, I'm sitting here in Cape Canaveral, Florida right now, and I'm in a public library, and the recreation department is about 3 blocks to the left of me. And what's been real interesting is that, and this is a very, very, very small recreation department in this little community that I'm in, but you would think there were 100 staff members because they are just, like when I walked into the library today, there was the table outside and they were talking about 2 parks that are like within 20 miles from here and what's going on over the next month. And it was just kind of interesting. And they stay here for 2 hours and they go and they leave. Now, again, I know there's staff, but I was thinking we could volunteer to do some things like that. You know, it was just interesting. This little library gets a lot of traffic and it was amazing. I was standing outside and amazing how many people were talking. This is so interesting. We're having this conversation and I just sort of had an experience of them trying to educate people. Now, a lot of the people here are snowbirds because they come down here for the warmer weather, the winter, whatever. But it's they do it in front of grocery stores. They do it in front of this library. They do it in front of other places, you know, that are just real common places where people gather. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point, Emily. We should definitely, like, outside of the events, pick a couple places that outside of the counties.
We also, I mean, a lot of individual communities, like there's mountain biking opportunities, reach out to Sorba, who's also your big biker as well. So I mean, you know, CMC with Carolina Mountain Club,
Yep.
we have hiking opportunities. We can start using those communities that we bring to the table to
For sure.
broaden that outreach. And that, you know, that can happen. You know, there's pretty significant populations, so,
Mhm.
but yeah. Okay.
I was planning or thinking of attending the camp out, so I will volunteer to attend the April 11th event. And
That camp out is awesome.
outreach there. Okay.
It's super fun. It's so we don't allow camping in our parks, just want to be really clear so that everybody knows that. The only reason we allow it is because it's a county run program and it usually sells out because they're pretty popular. It's the opportunity where the Lake Julian Park closes and families can go and camp for the night and our staff does a great job of doing different programs and outreach and teaching fire building and food, and it's a really good time.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think that, I think ultimately the goal on here is, I think at one point in the making of the goals, it was gonna be like, have each advisory board member attend something, and I think we toned it down to like 1 per district, but that doesn't mean we can't go above and beyond and go above. I'd encourage that. There's a lot of community engagement happening right now. And so I think I was just talking to Molly and I kind of looked at our events. We actually don't have a lot of events in District 1, which is is kind of closer to the lines with the city of Asheville. But I think Beaver View Mountain, do we know if that's in District 1, Allison? Is that slide over to?
Can we get a district map on the wall permanently?
Oh,
Yeah, no. We can double check. So Beaver View could be a good spot for potentially District 1. But Lake Julian, is where we all do a lot of events, as well as the County Sports Park. So those are 2, and then and Grovemont, Swananoa. So we hit the 2 and 3 pretty frequently. But District 1 actually the closest, also because Asheville Parks and Recreation generally does more within the city limits than we do. So we are almost out of time as well. So I think my recommendation right now is that we potentially leave with some homework. And that homework would be to, 1, identify if there's a particular event or program you're interested in going to, but also maybe within your district, what program or event you'd like to attend. And I would start with your district. I'd also encourage you to go outside your district at the same time, because I think it's important to know what's happening on the other side of the county, because that affects what's happening to you, and you know, it's not just what's happening over for the Woodfin Greenway, but how does that interact with what's happening in Swananoa right now? Type of
Yeah,
thing.
and I would tack onto that homework, go onto the Buncombe County Parks and Rec website, do some reading. Find the map of all the parks and then go to one you haven't been to before next meeting.
They're a good way to find them. I was just looking, trying to
I was
pull it up.
yeah, I was just
and
trying to do that
couldn't
too.
Easily find it.
District?
Yeah, no, the Parks map.
Oh, no, I was like, but okay, yeah, that's a good one
Do
too.
you want us,
I would
before
need to see the
we
website.
leave, to let you know?
I don't think you don't have to leave today. I think that's your homework to come back. I wouldn't, so we do have, before we reconvene in May, though, we do have the Owen meeting on March 30th. So if there's a group of people who want to go to that, I think that we should decide that now. I encourage you can always attend as just like a community member. But if you think to have a table and like give it a go before our next meeting and see how it goes as like a trial run, we can definitely do that. We just need to know so we get those t-shirts and have you all set up with everything you need to know and some background.
What time's the Deaver View?
So it's Swan, it's Owen Park on March 30th.
Yeah,
And then Deaver View is 11 a.m. on the 13th.
11
But that's more of like a PR, I mean.
That's more like
public announcement.
it's more press conference. So you'll do less interacting. You'll get to experience it.
You know, when the next meeting, I know I can't come on the 30th. You know when that next one is after that?
Don't know for sure, but there's gonna be,
Well, we know, but let me ask another question. Will it be decided before May 12th? Because we don't get back together.
yeah, but we can always keep you all updated. I
I
know,
know I can't go.
it's.
yeah, I don't know,
Facilities.
Joseph, do you know when that second meeting will be? Is it?
No, but we'll probably know by May, because that's,
Yeah.
we're shooting for
We'll have
June.
more
So-
information.
I get my flip side
3,
question.
4.
You would have to find information.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, so yes, we can at least do it.
It's, first one's March, April is what they're looking for, next one's May, June is what they're looking for, and then the last
I'm
one's
not on
July.
Wi-Fi, but it's
Liz, I'm gonna go to
it's
the March
buncombe
17th
nc.gov
meeting.
/344
Okay,
/
great.
You know, but I mean, I don't know that we don't
But
necessarily need a
it's that
table.
link.
No, I think go and just
But we need to
listen.
make
I
them
think that's good. Or if you have extra information, you can share it.
And those are
So I think I'm gonna,
I would do a table at the Owen one.
at the Owen?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to go anyway, so.
Yeah, I'll
Is there
probably, I
anyone
can
else
go to
wanna
the
do
other
a
one.
table
Yeah.
and we can give it a go?
I'm gonna be acting as a community member because I like to give feedback.
And
And
I
that's
don't
fine
mean to be.
too.
I can sit at the table with Ellen, yeah, so I'm,
Well, that-
I'll go to the Owen one, that's in my backyard, so.
Okay, great. So yeah, so we can do a table at Owen or you can act as community members. Do we have a preference? I know Emily sounds like to be a community member.
I'm happy to sit at a table.
Okay.
And we're gonna have multiple tables, so I think it'll work out great, because we'll have you guys, and then we're gonna have somebody speaking from our planning department about the Swananoa sidewalk plan, and then, yeah, so.
Or if you guys want us greeting people, like if there's if a table distracts from other things going on with the architects or something, we can also just greet people. And
Yeah, and people, that sounds good. Let's, I'll make it out that y'all are doing that and we will have a brief meeting beforehand just to make sure we have everything y'all need.
Okay, so it's Monday, oh, I see it, it's already on my calendar, good.
And I might send y'all a little request with like t-shirt sizes for everybody. Might do a t-shirt order.
I like Kevin's idea of asking me about Buncombe County Parks and Recreation.
Yeah,
And a table.
yeah, nice cool logo.
I think it's a great idea of tabling at other things too, because like last night we went to Highwire and Asheville Parks and Rec was there talking about the River Park rebuild.
Yes.
And it's like,
That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Well,
Wow.
and people don't really know that there is a distinction
Yeah.
between Asheville and Buncombe County.
yeah, exactly.
Correct.
That's pretty typical, like you see that in a lot of areas, because people just want to park, they're not
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they don't really care,
Yeah.
which is okay, I
It
mean.
was like this.
It's
Yeah.
not a bad
So it's like,
thing, yeah,
You
it's.
drive here and you're an Ashley. You drive there,
Yeah.
you're not. You
Yeah.
drive here, you're an Ashley. You drive there, you're-
Yeah, it's a lot of that too, yeah.
Oh, you're good.
That's why.
It does sound like we have a few folks who have to head out, so let's go ahead and wrap the meeting up.
Okay.
And then we can chat.
About new members later.
Oh. Do this real quick, yes.
Do it real quick.
One more
Uh,
item.
Ingrid I'm not sure if she,
She decided not to be reappointed because she's focusing on some stuff in that area.
and so we'll have one vacancy or two
One
vacancies?
vacancy.
Just one vacancy.
What district?
District
She's a,
2.
yeah.
She was 1 or 3, but we have too many people in those, so we need to fill a district 2.
Yeah, you wanna take that away?
So 1, you can spread the word, but 2, what we'll do is have a committee. So we need at least 2 advisory board members, then Allison and myself, and probably 1 more other county employee. We'll do like a rubric of applications, and then that's how we'll select someone. So if there's,
Someone to volunteer for.
yeah, so, all right, anybody else? All right, Emily,
Although I'm in.
that's fine.
Is it just go over applications you've already received in the last year, or do you put out a new
That'll probably be a new.
request for applications?
It generally,
Right?
we have, right now, we do have enough to, like, it has to be out open for 30 days. So it's on the website, it's been open.
Okay.
And so I haven't looked. But once, it will just be once we meet, but yeah, we do go back and review older ones as well. So
Do we meet or do we do by, how do we?
we did a virtual meeting last
Oh,
time to
okay.
do best time, but yeah, basically you do a little bit of homework, you review the applications, fill out a rubric, and then we meet and discuss. So, all right, Kevin.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Now we're adjourned. Everybody have a good day.
Everybody, thanks y'all for coming out. Thank you.
Thank you for helping me be able to join. Thank you.
Christina, have a good day. Enjoy Florida.